They say love can make people do crazy things, but what happens when love, obsession, and betrayal all live under the same roof? In today's case, two identical twin sisters shared everything: their childhood, their secrets, and eventually, the same husband. But only one would survive to tell the tale. This is the story of Anna and Belle, identical twins who were inseparable since birth. To the outside world, their bond was something to admire. But behind closed doors, their lives were entangled in a dangerous web of love, jealousy, and manipulation, all centered around one man, Mark Peterson. By the time it was over, one sister would be dead, the other in handcuffs, and Mark would be at the center of a nightmare that still haunts everyone who knew them. Anna and Belle grew up in a small town in the Midwest. Their parents often joked that the girls were two halves of the same soul. They dressed alike, thought alike, and even finished each other's sentences. But there was a difference. Anna was the responsible one, ambitious, disciplined, a straight-A student. Belle was more spontaneous, wild, and drawn to risky adventures. Still, their love for each other seemed unshakable. In their early 20s, Anna married her college sweetheart, Mark Peterson, a charming but controlling man with a knack for making people feel like they were the center of his universe. At first, Belle was just the fun sister-in-law, visiting often and joking with Mark. But over time, boundaries blurred. Family friends started noticing subtle shifts. Belle began spending more time at Anna's house, even staying overnight when Anna was away for work. Mark's compliments toward Belle seemed a little too personal, his touches a little too lingering. Anna brushed off any concerns. "Belle's my twin. We're family. She would never do anything to hurt me." But trust, as strong as it was about to be shattered. In 2015, Belle confessed to Anna that she and Mark had fallen in love and had been seeing each other for months. Instead of ending it, the situation took an even stranger turn. Mark suggested they all live together. Anna, torn between her loyalty to her sister and her crumbling marriage, reluctantly agreed, hoping it would somehow preserve their family. For a while, the arrangement seemed tense, but manageable. They shared dinners, holidays, even vacations. But jealousy began to seep in like poison. By 2018, Mark had legally married Belle in a quiet civil ceremony in another state, a marriage that was technically invalid because he was still married to Anna. But in his twisted mind, he now had two wives. The tension reached its breaking point one stormy night when neighbors reported shouting, glass breaking, and what sounded like a woman's scream coming from the Peterson home. Police arrived to find the house eerily quiet, but one sister was missing. When the truth finally came out, it would shock even the most seasoned investigators. The missing sister was Anna. According to Belle and Mark, she had gone for a drive after an argument. But Anna's car was still in the driveway, her purse and phone left on the kitchen counter. Police quickly suspected foul play. A search of the home uncovered a trail of blood droplets leading from the kitchen to the garage. Inside the trunk of Mark's car, they found Anna's lifeless body. The medical examiner determined Anna had been struck in the head with a blunt object, then strangled. It was a violent, personal attack, the kind committed by someone close. When confronted with the evidence, Belle broke down. She claimed it was self-defense, that Anna had attacked her in a jealous rage. But investigators weren't convinced. Phone records showed a series of text messages between Belle and Mark in the days leading up to the murder. In them, they discussed finally being free and making sure nothing could come between them again. Neighbors also reported seeing Belle and Mark carrying large trash bags to the curb just hours after Anna was last seen alive. Forensic teams found traces of Anna's blood inside the bags, along with a broken glass vase believed to be the murder weapon. The prosecution painted a chilling picture. Belle and Mark's relationship had escalated into a toxic obsession. Anna had become an inconvenience, someone they needed out of the way to live their fantasy life together. The defense tried to argue that Anna was controlling and unstable, that Belle acted in the heat of the moment. But the jury didn't buy it. The damning digital evidence, the motive, and the brutality of the crime were impossible to ignore. Belle Peterson was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Mark, facing overwhelming evidence of conspiracy, accepted a plea deal for second-degree murder and received a 40-year sentence. The public reaction was one of shock and disgust. The idea that twin sisters, once inseparable, could be driven to such betrayal over a man left the community reeling. Experts who studied the case noted that Mark's manipulative tendencies may have exploited the twins' deep emotional connection. He created a dynamic where competition replaced loyalty, and love turned into a destructive obsession. In the end, this was not just the story of a love triangle, it was the story of how unchecked jealousy, control, and emotional dependency can destroy even the closest bonds. What do you think? Was Belle fully under Mark's influence, or was she equally responsible for the murder? And in a case like this, can justice ever truly be served? If you want more stories about the corners of human emotion where love, identity, and betrayal collide, subscribe now. Your support helps us explore the most haunting cases, and the lessons they leave behind.